every Tuesday at 2:30, I do something called Transparent Tuesdays where I share a message. Everybody welcome in on Facebook Live. But and I play the background. I know I miss my cues. No, I forget my lines. I'm sticking to everybody, welcome. As you're coming in today, I please would just encourage you just to share the broadcast. I have a really good message today. I'm excited about today's message. How's everybody doing? If you're here, please comment. Say hello. Put a smiley face. Wave. Put a hand. Let me know you're there. I'm going to get started just shortly. So if you need me, I'll be stage right. Praying the whole world will start embracing stage fright. So let me fall back. Thank you for the thumbs. Thank you for the heart. Shining, what's going on, brother? How's your day going so far? Excellent. Yeah, today I really like that topic, so I'm going to share something similar to that, but it's actually going to be coming from a whole different angle. Excellent. So everybody, really quick, that was Lecrae, and that soundtrack is entitled Background. I really enjoy that track. I just got on my laptop today and I had some old music and I was like, this was one of my favorite jams. So everybody, really quick, my name is Jonathan Jones, best-selling author of the book entitled Process, 14 Surprisingly Simple Behaviors to Skyrocket Millennials to Success. If you haven't ordered your copy, I have my link in the section where I describe just the topic of today. But man, today is a beautiful day outside. I'm in Dallas, Texas, well, Plano right now, just on campus. Like I said, I was going to remain to be for the next couple of weeks. But I would just love to hear how things have been going. Shadden, how's everything going for you? Bruce Kennedy, Coach Bruce, welcome, sir. Welcome in the building. Everybody, if you're here, just say hello. Just write hello in the comments. Just write hello. I'm excited about today. Today I have a really good message for you. Also, if you're in the broadcast, if you could just tap the share button so that we can share this message, because this is going to be a message that I feel will add a lot of value, and I think will help definitely encourage some individuals today. But man, we're about to get started because it's 2:30 and we believe in starting on time. So today, this Transparent Tuesday, I entitled the message, Show Your Scars. Yeah, show your scars. Because for me growing up, when I was really young, I stayed in Baton Rouge, so mosquitoes are always flying around. Bugs are always biting me. Sore fly girl, welcome Sharon Johnson. But yeah, like I said, I was growing up, excuse me y'all, my nose has been running today. But growing up in Louisiana, mosquitoes, they would always bite. They would always bite me on my legs. They would always bite me on my legs, bite me on my arms, and they would just eat me up just being in Louisiana. Because if anybody's been in Louisiana, the bugs down there is terrible. The mosquitoes, they always bite you, and I would always pick at it. And then eventually, as I kept picking at it, I began to develop scars on my legs. And I was embarrassed about them. I was like, I was just shameful of the scars. I was like, man, this is terrible. Nobody wants to see these. So I would try to cover them up all the time. I would cover them up. And then I was just really just regretful of what I've done. I was just really just embarrassed of just the scars that I inflicted to myself, the self-inflicting pain that I caused on myself. Natalie, what's going on? So when that happened, I was like, man, okay, I didn't think that was that big of a deal. But then even through that, then I became able now to be able to see a message from that, because I've entitled the message, Show Your Scars. Show your scars. Because oftentimes when we think about a scar, we think about what we went through to get that scar. We think about what that scar represents. Usually the scar represents a tougher time, or usually the scar represents something that we're not that proud of, something that we're embarrassed of, something that we don't want people to see, something that we try to cover up, something that we try to hide. So in just understanding that, and just understanding what comes with the scars. Can somebody write pain for me? Everybody write pain down there at the bottom. Write pain. Everybody, if you could just type in pain in the comment section. Type in pain for me. Just pain. Just hurt. Just shame. These things that are the first thoughts that come to our mind when we think about a scar. We think about the trouble that we had to go through sometimes. And nowadays, I go back and I look at some scars. I have one on my right leg because I fell through the back of a rusted truck. Coon, what's going on, my man? Also, even there was a time when I grew up even a little bit older. One time I put a brick on the back of my grandmother's fence. I wiped away the sweat on my forehead, and then the brick slammed back and hit me in the forehead. So I developed a scar, and I developed a scab that was the size of my whole forehead. A scar that was on my whole forehead, just like you said, Shad. I developed just a scab that was here on my forehead. It was at a place I realized I couldn't cover it up. And then I'd walk around and, it was just plain sight. Of course, I would want to cover it up, but then, there would be nobody. There would be no way that I could cover this up all the time because it was on my forehead. Even when I would want to cover it up my hand, then I would eventually get tired. It's like, I can't cover it up. I can't cover up that scar. I can't cover up what I went through and how that got there. And one thing we know about scars, there's a story behind every scar, y'all. There's a story behind every scar. So today I just wanted to share with you just three quick points. Just 3 quick points. And I'm going to close with one other brief story. Brian Keith, what's going on, sir? We're talking about showing your scars. This is Transparent Tuesday. We're talking about showing your scars. The first thing, when you show your scar, the first point that I want to hit on today, when you show that scar, and when people begin to see that, they don't think of you as weak. They don't think of you as an individual who is less than. When you see that scar of another individual, when you begin to show that scar, then that begins to show your resilience. Everybody type in resilience at the bottom. Type in resilience. Resilience, resilience, resilience. When people see that scar, that shows your resilience. Somebody needs to hear this word today, because too often times, y'all, like me when I was younger, and even here and there now, sometimes when I allow the enemy to play tricks on me, I began to want to hide things sometimes. But when you hide the scar, then you can't tell people the story about the scar. When you hide the scar, then you can't allow people to see how resilient you are, because you're still here. You're still here today. You're still present. You're still with us. Ashley, what's going on? Everybody that's hopping in, I just encourage you just to share this message, because today is Transparent Tuesday, and today we're talking about show your scars. The first point I want to talk about, your resilience. You allow people to see that resilience when they can see your scar. Because that's something that people need to see sometimes. Because sometimes they might have this tough situation. They might be in this tough pickle, and they might feel they're the only one facing what you might be facing as well. But if you show that scar, you can share your story with them. And then through that, then they're like, okay, wow, you're still here though. You went through exactly what I went through some time before, but you're still here. Powerful. There's so much power in that. Secondly, when we began to show that scar, we remove the power of that shame when we show that scar. For me, when I was younger, like I said, I had the scab on my forehead. I wanted to cover it up. I wanted to hide it. I didn't want anybody to see it. I didn't want people to see that. I didn't want anybody to see the flaw. Understanding that we're flawed humans. We're flawed individuals. It's just the truth. We're born into sin. That's just the way this life works. We're born into sin. But you see, when we show our scar, we don't have to worry about trying to hide it, because that shame's removed. When we show that, the shame's removed. Deleted, gone. It disappears. It gives no power. The power is removed from the shame. And then when shame is removed, then you can have joy. When shame's removed, then you can have freedom. When shame's removed, then you can live in the calling that God has divinely appointed for your life. JR, what's going on, brother? Arlene, how are you doing? Today we're talking Transparent Tuesday. We're talking about show your scars. Show your scars, because scars are something that we try to hide. Scars are something that we try to hide. We're shameful of. But even understanding that, I just had one quick story, real quick. I want to share with y'all just this last story, because this ties into the last point. This ties in. This is good, y'all. This one's good. This one's really good. Everybody coming in, I just want to say thank you for taking the time out your day to hop in on this scope. I would encourage you to share, because I want to encourage somebody today. I want somebody to be able to no longer be shameful. I want people to be able to just realize that there's power in their scars. There's power in sharing those with other people. But lastly, so I'm in graduate school right now. I'm in counseling. I'm pursuing my master's degree in counseling, excuse me. And one time my teacher called me into the office. I said, yes, ma'am. And she said, Jonathan, can I talk to you? I said, yes, ma'am, let's talk. I already was kind of heightened. The stress was already heightened because I didn't know what she wanted me to talk with me about, but I didn't feel like it was going to be anything good. She said, Jonathan? I said, yes, ma'am. She said, I want to tell you something. I said, okay. She said, Jonathan, your writing is weak. Yeah. She said, your writing is weak. Y'all, this is after I wrote the book. This is after I published my book. This is after it went and I was humbled to see it became a #1 Amazon bestseller. This is after this. She says, Jonathan, your writing is weak. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, I don't understand. She said, you're struggling to write these papers, but at the same time, but you have a book. Your book is a bestseller. You're a bestseller according to who? How is that even something? How is that something that you can even say? According to who? Why? Y'all, y'all, I came here to tell somebody today, somebody watching this scope today, I wanted you to see this message today, because I will flaunt that scar to the day I die, because there is somebody else out there who needs to understand that people will tell you things and people will try to discredit you because they're not comfortable in their own sense of purpose. People will discredit you because they may try to dethrone you from these things that you've rightfully earned. They may try to dethrone you from purposes that God's called you into for your own life. At the end of the day, people will try to take everything that God has already given you. You should have to stand firm. You should have to continue to walk in what God has given you. What he has said is yours. You have to put your name on it, and you have to claim. You have to say, no. I hear what you're saying. You're entitled to your opinion. It might be wrong, but you're entitled to your opinion. I hear what you're saying, but no, ma'am, you're not going to take that from me. I tell her, I said, no, ma'am, no. I said, wait a minute. I said, I see what you're saying, but at the end of the day, I sat down, I put in the work on that book. I hired some editors to get that book edited. Just because I'm struggling in my writing to do the assignment that y'all assigned to me, that has nothing to do with this accomplishment on the other side. That has nothing to do with my book. Please don't try to take away something that I've rightfully earned, that I've put in the time, I've put in the sweat, I've put in the work. Y'all, the last point that I want to share you today, somebody write encourage. Somebody write encourage. Everybody in the comment box, write encourage, write encourage, write encourage. Sharon, thank you. Everybody, if you can just write in encourage down at the bottom, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Just encourage. When we show our scars, you encourage others in their pain. When we show our scars, you encourage others in their pain. Many people, like I've had this conversation with a few people before. Arlene, I know we've had the conversation, but like I said, your story is a prescription for someone else's pain. Greg, what's going on, brother? I'm going to say that one more time. Your story is a prescription for someone else's pain. Y'all, I want to let you know today that we have to show those scars. Granted, I understand it does take work to get to that place. Granted, I do understand it's not always easy to do it at first. Because y'all, when I tell you, I had to have that conversation with 3 or 4 friends, telling them that situation that went down with my professor. I was like, am I in the wrong? Or what do you think about this? I just want to make sure I'm not overreacting, because y'all know sometimes, depending on, where we are in our walks, sometimes we can overreact wherever we are in our walk. We can overreact in whatever part of life. Overreacting is something that we can do easy. I can't speak for nobody else. I'll speak for myself. But me personally, I know I will overreact sometimes. But I had to talk with a couple of people to help do that work. I had to talk with a therapist to help hash that out, because it's a process. No pun intended. It's a process to get some of these things out. But we have to understand, when we go through that process and we go through that work and we put in, the sweat, we put in those tears, we cry it out sometimes, we pray it out, and we take those actions. When we take the time to make sure that we're our best full self, we're our best whole self, when we take the time and we pray and we allow God to mend our broken hearts, then we can reach others, and then we can truly cause an impact. We can do impact before. Don't get it twisted. We can get impact before. But I'm just letting y'all know, though, that we have to share our pain. That's our testimony. Jordan, what's going on, sir? Thank you for joining. Y'all, just like I actually wrote in my blog. I'd encourage y'all to check out my blog on Jonathan Jones Speaks, because I actually blogged about this. It was slightly different on the topic. But when we don't show our pain, when we don't show our scars, imagine Jesus. Check it out real quick, y'all. Imagine Jesus, who was beat, who bled, who was stabbed. They forced a thorn of crowns on his head. Say, yeah, you're king. Ha, ha, ha. Y'all, imagine if Jesus said, nah. He said, I love y'all, but at the same time, Imagine if Jesus said, nah, y'all, I'm too pretty. Just imagine if Jesus said, I'm too pretty to get scarred up. I'm too pretty to take any beating. I'm too pretty for them to stab me on the side. I'm too pretty for them to pierce my hands and pierce my feet. Imagine if Jesus was like, I'm too pretty. Y'all gonna have to handle y'all own sin. Y'all gonna have to bear your own cross, because I'm not hanging on that cross up there. Yo, we have to share our testimony, and we have to share our pain, and we have to show our scars, just because the way that he did. And in order for us to say that we're true followers of Christ, we have to bear our own cross just as he did. We have to pick up our cross, which might look like hurtful pain. We have to pick up our cross. Alex Lee, what's going on, brother? We have to pick up our cross, which might look like mending a relationship with mom or dad because we couldn't get on one accord with them when we were growing up, because they parented us the best way they knew how. But at the same time, we didn't always agree with their methods. We have to bear our own cross of dealing with some individuals we might have resentment from, maybe those teachers, maybe grandma, because she used to whoop us and we didn't understand, Dad, what's going on. Yo, we have to bear these crosses, and we have to show these scars, because when we show these scars, I personally believe that that's a form of praise to our Creator. When we show our scars, saying, yes, Jesus, we want to follow you. Yes, we want to look like you. Yes, we want to be more like you in our daily walk. When we're doing that, that's showing our scar. That's bringing glory to God. That's helping further the kingdom, because it's not going to get easier. He didn't call us to an easy life. He didn't call us to a happy life. He never promises us happiness. He promises he won't leave us nor forsake us. He promises us joy in the end. Joy. He promises us joy and an eternal life. So today I want to encourage y'all to show your scars. Flaunt your scars. Flaunt your scars. Because first, we all have them. We all have these scars. Flaunt them, though. Because when we try to hide them, like I even said in my story, when I tried to hide my scars, I minimize myself. When you try to hide your scars, you become somebody who's always self-conscious. You're like, oh, well, what if they see this? Well, what if they find out about this? What if they do? But on the other side, when you show your scars and you accept those flaws that you once had at one point, then you remove all power. Just like I said, real quick recap. Real quick recap. Like I said, when we show our scars, first and foremost, we begin to show our resilience. Because there's so much resilience in that. We're showing others the scars, and we're allowing them to see that they can make it through. Secondly, when we show our scars, we remove the shame and the power of what those scars once meant, of what those scars once had, the power that they had over us. Just like I said, when we share, though, we don't minimize our scars or ourselves. We then maximize ourselves. And by doing that, that opens up a lane for God to call us to certain areas to where he can use us. For him to put us in certain places where we don't have to worry about stuff being brought out into the light, because we already brought it out in the light. We already dealt with it. We already handled that situation. And lastly, when we show our scars, you encourage others in their pain. Because like I always say, your story is a prescription for someone else's pain. Your story is a prescription for someone else's pain. A prescription. Y'all, that story I shared with y'all today about my professor, it was painful for me for a while. Painful. Painful. I even had a scar. You can ask my dad. Me and my dad have talked also, because me and my dad, there was some pain in that relationship. But then me and my dad, we had to sit down and we had to talk about it. We had to realize that there were some things that we both need to bring to the light. We had to realize that we're both flawed. We had to realize that we both come up short sometimes. I had to realize that I'm not the easiest person to talk to all the time. He realized that, son, I know you can't always hear what I have to say sometimes, or you don't always receive what I have to say sometimes. But now me and my dad have the best relationship that we've ever had before. God's definitely working. God has definitely been working in the midst of us, in the midst of the relationship, in the midst of the business. Now we're business partners. But yeah, anyway, I just want to tell everybody, thank you for taking the time just to check out this Facebook Live. If you felt this added value, or if you felt that this could encourage somebody else in their journey, I would encourage you just to share this so that we can help expand the message, so that we can help impact others' lives, and so that we can help bring others from that dark into the light, seeing that God's called them to a greater purpose, seeing that God does not want them to be minimized, but he wants them to be maximized in their life, doing work for the kingdom. Because I believe that we all have gifts, and I know that God will use those. But if we're broken and if we're hurting, we need to take the time, and we need to seek some help in that, prayer, therapy, whatever it may be. So everybody, once again, thank you for taking the time to hang out with me today on this Transparent Tuesday. Every Tuesday, 2:30, Transparent Tuesday, right here on my Facebook. So I would encourage you to share this. Thank you once again. If you'd like more information on me, you can go to jonathanjonespeaks.com. And also on jonathanjonespeaks.com, you can see more of my video footage. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also you can get your autographed copy, Process 14 Surprisingly Simple Behaviors to Skyrocket Millennials to Success. Everybody, thank you for coming out. I appreciate everybody being here, and I appreciate y'all just interacting. Share this message and encourage somebody today. Peace, and God bless everyone. Bye-bye.